Hey YouTube, it's Dr. T stopping by for another video. I went to an active shooter training today and I wanted to share with you what I learned. The instructor, the first thing he said was to keep your head on a swivel. You have to be aware of your surroundings at all times. Wherever you are, the supermarket, work, the store, in your home, just taking a walk, you have to be aware of your surroundings at all times. The list that I'm going to give you right now is not in order, but this information is very, very helpful. So the first topic that he discussed was run. In the event that you encounter an active shooter, the first thing to do is to run to a safe area. Call 911 when you are able to, when you're in a safe area and you're able to. And then he also mentioned to help others evacuate. The next one is leave the ones that aren't willing to leave the area with you. You cannot jeopardize your safety because someone that you're trying to give information to about this active shooter is refusing to leave the area. The guy said, leave them alone. Leave them right there where they are and you get out the area to a safe place, okay? The next one is prevent others from entering into that dangerous area where there is an active shooter. The second one was to hide. Find a shelter in an enclosed area, a storage area, a conference room, a classroom. Find an area that's safe where you can shelter in place. Also, try to blockade the door. Turn off the lights, lock the door, remain quiet, and hide behind large items. So that's the second tip. The first one was run. The second one is to hide, and then there are bullets below it, okay? The next one is to fight. If you have no other option, you have to fight. Then he also mentioned the importance of yelling. And then another tip is to attack your aggressor with the necessary force to stop them. The next one would be commit to the action. If you're deciding that you're going to fight off this aggressor or this, active shooter and he's, endangering your safety, if you're going to commit to fighting, you better follow through with it. Don't half step and begin to, don't be apprehensive. You're going to go after the aggressor, and you're going to, put up a fight and then halfway decide that you're not going to do it. That's going to cost you your life. So he said, if you are going to fight, you must commit to the fight and follow through. The next one he mentioned was throwing items. Depending on where you are, there may be items that you can throw at the active shooter. And then the next one is use whatever available weapon. Now, you guys know we are part of that group of people who are legally armed and we will defend ourselves. So in the event that you're in an area with an active shooter and the option for you is to utilize your firearm, do that to keep yourself safe. So I wanted to share with you the video that they showed today. I was not expecting it. I know the video came with a little disclaimer. It said, the video that you're about to see may be upsetting to others, but I've never seen an active shooter video like this. So there's a guy, he's in all black, he's got a black backpack, and he's walking around like a workplace. So walking around the workplace, so, just walking past security, walking past the employees that have their head down and that aren't paying attention. This guy then takes out a Mossberg shotgun with a pistol grip. Okay? You guys know what I'm talking about. The little one with listen, I was not expecting that. This guy started opening fire on everyone, close proximity, okay? He took out everybody in that area. Nobody expected it. What's surprising is that we don't take this serious. We do not take the fact that at any time there can be an active shooter wherever you are. It could be in the mall. It could be in the supermarket. It could be at your job. It could be walking down the street and then there's an active shooter. We're not paying attention. We're taking things for granted that, we may be in an area where nothing really happens, but we're not prepared for an active shooter. And I want you guys to start getting that in your mind that anything can happen. Being alert, keeping your head on a swivel, paying attention to, people that you're coming in close proximity to and passing, because not everybody has good intentions, okay? There was a police officer that led this training, And when it was time for, people to ask questions, someone had asked a question, well, what does a person do who is legally armed and they're encountering a active shooter? And the officer said to them, stop the threat, put an end to the threat. And then the officer also shared that during that time when you're putting an end to the threat, again, help from law enforcement is minutes away when seconds matter. The officer made it very, very clear. He said, by the time that the police get there, you make sure the firearm is not in your hand. We do not know who is the guy who's the active shooter and who's a victim. If we, get to the scene and you have a firearm in your hand, we will shoot you. And that, it just blew my mind because he's telling us exactly how these things play out. He mentioned all the shootings that happened within the last maybe 15 years. And again, no one was prepared, whoever, it was just shocking. So I just said, let me come on here, have this conversation with you because we need to have this conversation. We need to be more aware. We need to share this information with others. And it's so important. If this is your wake-up call, if you are not legally armed, do so. Don't wait until the right time. There's no right time. Do it now. Go to your local, police department, get information. Go to your local county clerk, get information so that you can start the process with getting legally armed and doing things the right way, okay? We do not want to encounter an active shooter, but in the event that we do, we want to be prepared. Here's the second part. I went out earlier today, right? And at this location, there's nothing, busy going on. It's actually a store that I went to today. And here in the store, there's this guy with a deep voice. He's yelling, stop, stop. And I'm like, this is crazy because I just went to this active shooter training. And is this that situation? So this guy's yelling, stop, stop multiple times. Then you hear some younger people screaming as if they're like being attacked. It was crazy. And again, no one is prepared for this. People were scrambling in the store. They didn't know what to do. Some people were rushing to the screams that they heard. And me, I was just like, no, nearest exit, out of here. Like, we're not doing that. What happened was it was a group of kids playing a prank. Now, I don't know if you've been watching the news lately, but these kids are playing too many pranks and ending up losing their lives. So again, today was a very, very interesting day. I learned a lot. I had to come on here to share this information with you. But talk to your youngsters about playing pranks in these games and how that can negatively impact their life. And for you who are not legally armed, please get legally armed, okay? Learn the laws in your state. Find out what you're allowed to have and what you can and cannot do, and how, what the process is for obtaining your firearm legally, and get it. Because just like this officer said, they are minutes away when seconds matter. And when they get there, they can't tell who's an active shooter versus who's a victim. And it is up to you to save your life, okay? So I just wanted to share with you that what I learned from the active shooter training today, these a few little tips to hide, run, and fight. Okay, so just sharing that information with you, or how it was in order was to run, hide, and fight as your last resort. And then if you are legally armed and you have that as an option, then of course, if your life comes down to it, between them or you, it is your responsibility to protect and preserve your life, okay? And don't let anyone put you in a situation where they're not willing to leave the area to go to a safe space. Leave them alone and you get out, and make sure that you can get home to your family, okay? So please like, share, and subscribe. Let's have a conversation down in the comments. And if you have not taken an active shooter training yet, look into it. Maybe your organization has that. Or if not, there are plenty of videos on YouTube. But this one was by far the most interesting training that I have gone to. And it was a wake-up call. All right, so thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.